Greetings, ABC community. We welcome you to the second episode of ABCeteris. In today's episode, we are joined by Anar Mehdiyev.
Anar Mehdiyev is a private entrepreneur and is the CEO of.
So, Mr. Anar, can you tell us a bit about and what it is?
So our company is doing international business with trading business with the foodstuffs, and we are distributing Azerbaijan-made foodstuffs in international markets.
And what other corporations do you take part in?
Well, it's the only business I'm having, and it's the main business that I'm doing.
So, when you started, did you receive any government subsidies?
No, we the seed capital and belong to us, so we have invested. We believed in our idea and started to grow this business. It wasn't easy, but we did it, and our company is already 10 years in the business.
So you started with no grants or government subsidies?
No. Well,
just
actually,
personal investment?
Yeah, personal investment, correct.
How significant are government incentives in helping smaller agricultural-based companies grow in Canada compared to Azerbaijan?
Well, Azerbaijan is offering good opportunities for any business, be it in agriculture sector or any other sector. So soft loans are available for the beginners. And I have to say, in some cases, the condition in Azerbaijan is even better than in North America. So, if you're asking about comparison, like I said, as an emerging market, government in Azerbaijan is pushing more effectively and more powerful than let's say, North America, especially in Canada, because these markets are more mature than Azerbaijan. So of course, they have their own programs, but I have to say, Azerbaijan availability of the state support in Azerbaijan is not less effective than in North America.
So, moving on to the U.S. tariff war, did the tariff disputes between the U.S. and Canada affect your trade in any way, or do you think it could trade any similar companies in the same industry?
Well, this tariff thing, as you know, it started after the election of President Trump. And this policy is it's controversial, I have to say, and it's not helping. I don't believe it's helping much American economy, because at the end of the day, America is very import dependent. So if you are increasing tariff, the idea behind increasing tariff is to bringing back to United States the industries. But what happens in reality is that the price of certain product goes up in America. So it affected, yes, as you know, United States imposed 10% import tariff to Azerbaijan-made products, and if Canadian companies importing from Azerbaijan to Canada and then exporting to the United States, and there are some additional tariffs in that case, is effective. So of course it does. It has some negative effect.
How dependent is cross-border trade with the U.S.?
Well, as you know, and there's a NAFTA, North American Free Trade Agreement between the three states. Three states are part of this NAFTA. It's in Mexico, United States, and Canada. And according to NAFTA, there is no critical barriers or critical issues for trading between the companies in these countries. But like I said, if you are bringing goods from Europe or in our case in Azerbaijan, from Azerbaijan to Canada, and then we are re-exporting to United States, then there are minor problems, not problems, but tariff system, some cost increase, but it has some effect, yes. It's not critical.
Well, other than tariffs, if we move on to supply shocks, have you experienced any natural resource shortages or anything that stunted your production process with these supply shocks?
Businesses in agriculture are experienced regularly. In fact, like in any business, there are risks for your business, and you have to consider that risk and try to mitigate that risk. But there are risks that you cannot control. Of course, there are risks that you control. You diverse your supply chain. You ensure that your vendors or your supply chain is not fragile. But the risks like a war or pandemic, you cannot control it. And in our case, for example, in our business, during pandemic time, the logistics problems was huge. So you cannot get in time and enough quantity. And like any business, you have commitment before your clients, and you're not getting in time. So there's a big troubles like fines and penalties. And in agriculture, these risks are probably more critical because agriculture is dependent on weather conditions. You know, if you have poor yields, then you have a shortage of raw material, and if you have shortage of raw material, the price goes up, and you cannot change your price, very quickly because you have commitment before your buyer, and buyer sets some requirement. You cannot change your price every month or every 2 months, maybe once in a year, but your price change has already went up. So that's the shock that we are experiencing almost every year.
How did adapt to those disruptions? Did you diversify suppliers or just pricing?
Well, good question. Actually, like I said, like in any business, like owner of any business, you have to predict the incoming risks, and one of these precautious measurements is, of course, diversification of your supply, building your own value chain, and also you are bringing foodstuff to your market and selling. So you have two sides. You are your buyers on the end, and then at the beginning your seller. So you have to contractual agreement with these two sides. You have to manage in a way that when this disruption happens, it doesn't ruin your business. So what we make sure that we oblige our. It's not very easy, of course. Not every seller or buyer is taking that commitments, but one of the ways is that you oblige on a contract basis your supplier and your buyer on the commitments of your conditions. So you cannot change your price quickly, and I can change my price quickly. So basically, this is the way how you can manage your risks.
Well, now final question from the audience. Considering the current political and economical state of the world right now, if you were to fully restart off of a clean slate, is there anything different that you would do?
Well, yes, we, of course, like any businesses, in the beginning we made some mistakes and I wouldn't say miscalculations. You know, information technology has reached in such a level that you can easily be manipulated by fraud. Let's say you can receive email or some inquiry, and behind that email there's no real person but not real business. There can be fraud, and so if I start again, be more cautious probably. There are some measurements we have to consider. For example, the local buyers' customer demand. You have to adjust your product to that demand rather than you bring it and say, this is the best product. Maybe it doesn't suit your demand, but this is the best product. So, this is marketing wise, flexibility should be there to adjust your business to that needs.
So aside from what new startups have you been working on?
There are some ideas on, of course, AI-based ideas because, and we are now working on it, is that the agriculture around the world, the farmers are facing same problems more or less. Farmer in Pakistan or in North America, if they are growing same crop, they are facing same problems. So all of them are in need of cost cutting and increase the yield. So some farmers in some parts of the world are more successful, some farmers are less successful. So there's a need for the platform, online platform, app-based or web-based online platform where this experience can be exchanged. I have experienced, so I learned some, accidentally actually, I learned some experience from Ukraine farmers, and I understood that if these success stories can be shared somehow, then the farmers can learn from each other, because it is a win-win scenario, because the world population is growing and the food production has to reach that growth. And so it's overall for the goodness for all the mankind that overall production effectiveness is going up, yield goes up. So if the yield goes up everywhere, then the food supply, food shortage goes down, food supply goes up, food shortage goes down. So all this, so the population grows and food supply is catching each other. So this is the idea that we try to develop.
That's great. Thank you very much for your time.
I am very glad that you have such initiative, and I'm wishing you all the best. The future is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So that's it for today's episode. We'll see you in the next episode of ABC.